Starship, the new SpaceX rocket, is a real game-changer in space exploration. It will reduce the cost of transporting cargo and people into space, put humans on the moon, and one day it will be used to transport the first humans to Mars. But before that happens, SpaceX has to produce a lot of Starships. But how could they do that? Today, we are going to take a look at what is going on SpaceX Starship Factory, a program planned to take humanity to Mars. The founding ethos of Elon Musk's private spaceflight company SpaceX was to make life multiplanetary. This plan was partly motivated by the existential threats that humanity faces. In 2016, he outlined his rationale by saying that history can go down two possible routes, one in which we stay on Earth forever and get wiped out by an extinction event. The other was that humanity becomes a space-faring civilization and a multi-planet species. So to make this possibility a reality, SpaceX was set up. Elon Musk estimated that the SpaceX would need to produce more than 1,000 Starships, each flying multiple times throughout its lifetime. The SpaceX CEO has also set an ambitious goal of producing 3 Starships per day. Well, all of this looks good on paper, but to actually take humanity to the red planet is a completely different thing when you factor in realistic barriers. Musk himself said that it is much easier to build a prototype, but is extremely difficult to mass manufacture. So let's take a look at what is happening at SpaceX, a premier production facility. SpaceX acquired the current land in Boca Chica in 2014, and the construction for the manufacturing and testing facilities began way back in 2016. Now, knowing Musk, you would expect an extremely high-tech facility, but in reality, the facility is an on-site tent city with a trailer park and no running supply of water. You might be wondering how that works. Well, let us tell you. SpaceX's day job is to lob payload into orbit for private or state agencies. But that part of the business is isolated to their Los Angeles facility, where the rockets are produced on-site. The facility has been purpose-built to increase efficiency and cut costs. Tents have the advantage of being quick to erect and are extremely inexpensive. Plus, they don't require tiresome energy-sapping engagements with local planning authorities. 2 of the largest and most important tents at the facility are called Segment Manufacturing Tent 1 and 2. This is where the stainless steel rings forming most of the visible fuselage are assembled, as well as the internal bulkhead domes. These tents by themselves are pretty long, but they weren't high enough from the ground to the roof. So what do you think SpaceX did? Well, they jacked up their tents on a layer of shipping containers. Honestly, it might be difficult to imagine such a big company taking this step, but that's what happened. It might sound crazy, but it actually helped speed up the building speed. Like tents, shipping containers don't need formal planning authorization and certainly don't require foundations. They are easy to reconfigure, and their heaviness really comes in handy in places like Boca Chica, where wind speeds are high. They can even be used as offices or storage units. So what more could you want? There is another neighboring long tent that has an onion-shaped end. It is used to assemble the rocket nose cones and rests on not 1 but 2 layers of shipping containers. The tents aren't just there to protect the equipment from the elements and to keep out prying eyes. They also serve as a form of enclosure for the gases used in welding, as they require some form of a container. Otherwise, the rocket could potentially be compromised. Another on-site structure is called the Hydraulic Press Workshop Tent. Inside this tent, technicians have band shipped in stainless steel, 301 to 304 plates in order to craft those all-important fuel tank domes. Water cutting is used to trim the steel, a process that presents its own challenges. Boca Chica has been without a reliable source of running water since Hurricane Beulah flooded the town in '67. So, to remedy the problem, SpaceX has erected its own on-site water tanks, one of which is an upcycle of a long-ago retired SN2 prototype rocket. The propulsion building is where the pipework and plumbing, which supports the Starship Raptor engines and the engines themselves, are put together and checked. The Raptors are still built at the Hawthorne, California facility, at least for now. There is another structure commonly referred to as the ground fabrication building that builds mission components that are designed to remain on dry land. These components include the heavy-duty scaffolding and the bulk of the launch mounts on which the rocket ultimately sits before blast off. The tallest structures on the facility are 3 vertical construction bays, which are meant to shield the vertical assembly of the rockets. The smallest of these is called the low bay or iron hinge. The largest bay stands at 8 meters tall and is the point from where all finished prototypes roll out. Musk has even jokingly said that he would one day make a bar with a glass floor on top of this bay so people can see the futuristic construction taking place beneath their feet. Currently, an orbital launch pad is also being constructed at the facility, which will be used to test launch the rocket. The current pad is located at a distance from the facility and is the point where rockets either land safely or fall in a controlled descent to blow up safely away from any sort of civilization. There is also an outpost of University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley on site, which is located in the Stargate Technology Center. The idea behind this was that SpaceX would be able to nurture local talent without the hassle of convincing people to move down to rural Texas. A skilled and motivated workforce is the secret behind Musk's success, and Musk understands that. The staff maintains a 3-day on and 4 days off rotation system, often staying in the dedicated RV parks in the shadow of the high bay. Even though the factory is quite big, there are still plans for expansion. In March 2020, SpaceX doubled its workforce to 500 within just a weekend, and since then, the workforce has quadrupled to about 2,000. Elon Musk has also hinted that with the growing workforce, SpaceX must just up building an entire city for its employees, who are passionately calling it Starbase. The great thing about Musk is that he owns his decisions. With a facility near the border of Mexico, it has a high chance that it might need to deal with hurricanes and nature's destructive forces, which could cause heavy damage to the facility. But as Musk believes in speed, he would rather rebuild the entire factory than waste years on constructing a solid concrete facility. With a rapid level of development taking place at the Boca Chica facility and a recent success, it is becoming increasingly likely that the first humans to set foot on the Red Planet will actually launch from SpaceX's facility. This was a quick turnaround SpaceX factory. What do you think now? Will SpaceX be able to produce this 1,000 Starships? Let us know in the comment section. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a thumbs up.